Hyperbole and irony are other important figures of speech which are quite frequently used in discourse analysis and pragmatics. In order to explain them, we can see that hyperbole in fact is an exaggeration, or it could be seen as some kind of overstatement. And hyperbole, we can say it safely, that is frequently used in our daily conversation also. On many occasions, in order to highlight certain things or emphasize on certain things, we do exaggerate our expressions, which we might not mean in reality. For example, when we are hungry and we are looking for something to eat, we might say to our family member or to our servant who is supposed to serve us food that give me food quickly, I'm starving. So that actually means that I'm rather hungry. And so starving is used to emphasize on that particular situation. So in order to create a certain element of attention, or in order to create certain rhetorical situation, we might use some overstatements or exaggerated expressions which would not be used in some normal situations. This phenomena is called, or this process is called hyperbole. Another example can be seen as that sometimes in order to express about small distances, for example, few meters distances, we might say it's miles and miles. In these situations, we would like to highlight the kind of fatigue or the kind of unwillingness about their journey, which may be short in nature, but when we are not willing to go for that journey, we might say it's miles and miles. On a Grecian analysis based on Grice's maxim, this kind of hyperbolic expression is a blatant violation of the maxim of quality. And if we have to follow the maxims of quality, we might not choose these exaggerated or hyperbolic expressions. But the reality is, when we use them, we know it, that these are just to exaggerate about a certain point or to highlight about a certain point. So in most of social situations, there would be a mutual agreement between the listener and the speaker that such expressions become acceptable for both the speaker and the listener. In the examples I've just presented in front of you, you can see that the word starving and miles are well beyond what the reality is. So the things or the expressions which are beyond reality and are stated in an exaggerated way, they may be seen as hyperbole. If we talk about irony is a figure of speech in which a speaker sometimes mean exactly the different or the opposite of what he actually says. For example, if I say something and mean exactly the opposite, I am probably using an ironic expression. We use such expressions in our daily life in order to highlight certain points, in order to show certain ironic, satirical, or humor impact. For example, you may not be in a happy mood. You are angry about something, and you are obviously so. But somebody asks you, "How are you feeling now?" And you would say, "I'm so happy." I mean, in such situations, you are actually not happy, but you're just trying to say that I am not happy by saying that I am happy. This kind of expression would be seen as ironic expression. Another example can be when you walk out of your house in a typical Western context and you see it's raining. And most of us know that raining is not much liked in European context because the weather is always cloudy and rainy there on most of the occasions. So people don't like rain much. And in a Western context, you walk out and you see it's raining again, and you say, "A lovely weather." So you actually don't mean lovely weather, rather you are trying to convey the opposite. This kind of may not always be a necessary or sufficient condition for irony, but in most of situations, ironic expression is understood as something opposite to what is said. In some situations, such ironic expressions may be used only to draw people's attention towards a certain phenomena or to a certain object or certain event, and it may not have a certain serious satirical meanings. It might be used for humor only. For example, if you see a car with a broken window, and you might tell your friends or people who are around you, look, that car hasn't got a broken window. So this actually not is a serious satirical statement, rather it is just said to draw others' attention towards that broken window, or just to create some sort of humor. So all these figures of speech do have certain meanings in various situations, and they help us to understand and to conduct a proper and deeper pragmatic analysis.